Hi, I'm Marty, and this is Devlog number 2 for Tinkerer. Tinkerer is an upcoming video game that mixes Zachtronics puzzle-solving style of gameplay, particularly Opus Magnum, with Factorio's factory automation and logistics, and some tower defense elements. First of all, thank you all for your feedback. The first video has done much better than I had expected, so that's great to see. I will be changing the logo. Right now it's an AI image that I generated because I needed something to have in the loading screen as a logo and whatnot. I aim to remove and improve all the graphics in general. Everything you see so far, like all this screen here, it's all placeholder art. I am going to change them eventually. Right now, I'm focusing on the programming, so they will stay. They will stay for a while. Yeah, eventually, I'll start working on the graphics. I plan to start working with artists eventually. I don't want to have AI assets anywhere really. So let's talk about Ingress Origins. I started working on this almost exactly a year and a half ago. At the time, we were going through the Unity runtime fee scandal. It got really viral. Every developer was ditching them or trying to port to some other engine, and there was a huge outrage within the gamer community and the tech news community and whatever. Coincidentally, at the same time, a YouTube channel called Fireship released their video called "Got Out in 100 Seconds," and it looked easy enough. So I figure, well, I can just download Godot and start playing around with it. Like, it doesn't require any installation. You just like download .exe file, double click, and it just works. And I figure, well, that looks easy enough. I can just try to make a game I want to play instead of waiting for somebody else to do it for me. And at the moment, I was in a kind of a gaming dry spell. I just couldn't find anything that was really grabbing me. Unlike now, which I'm currently on my second playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3, which has taken a bit of a toll on development time. Kind of joking, but not fully joking.
Later that same evening.
So, anyways, Godot looked easy to learn and to play around with, and I had a little of programming experience. Back in my previous job, I used to do finance stuff, like a lot of spreadsheets. So I learned how to program macros in VBAs to automate financial reporting and stuff like that. You know, not gaming stuff, not fun programming stuff, uh, mostly money and accounting shenanigans, but it was some programming experience. And I did program a snake clone within Excel because I already had the spreadsheet grid, so that was easy enough and for a laugh. But I have really beyond this no other game making experience. But I figured it would be easy, so I decided to start by trying to clone Opus Magnum, which is the main game from Zachtronics that I'm bringing features for my game. So here you can look at the UI from the developer point of view, the UI. So here are the nodes and the stuff, and here are where the instructions live and the timeline and so on. So let's look at how the progression went. So this is the very first clip that I recorded. Here is when I figured out how to make like an arm rotate and the little grabby thingy to pick up an object. At the time, the objects were like anvils and boxes and whatnot because just placeholder um, art. But eventually, they would become what they are today, which is fire, elemental, magical atoms, and so on to make molecules. Here, a few days later, now I had already figured out how to make an inventory, how to pick up stuff from the inventory and to put it in on the map, and to we already have the timeline with instructions where you can drag and drop the instructions so that the machine would be able to like play and execute the instructions. So all the programming bit is already working, kinda, as you can see. And then I had to figure out bonding, so how to take two atoms and chain them together so that they move together, and how to output a molecule. So like grab a whole molecule, put it in a specific place, have it disappear, and add up one to the counter so that you can eventually win by reaching X amount of outputted molecules. And how to make rails so that you can build a truck line where you can put a machine like an arm and make it translate on top of those trucks. That took some figuring out. So all of this took about 3 months. So by the time we got to January 2024, so last year, I was able to finally begin working on the outside world, the part what I call the overworld, what you can see here, where you have the little guy and where you can, build towers, and all the Factorio stuff takes place right here in the 3D bit. So let's look at some of those clips. So this is the first clip where you can see the main character, this little guy with white hair, jumping around. In this clip, the scale is way off, but it's the first clip I have of finally controlling a little guy and make him look left and look right and all of that. Where I was able to combine the 3D movement stuff with the 2D sprite art and sprite sheet animation. And within a few weeks, I was able to build stuff. Like here in this clip, I'm building a chest on the overworld and opening it up and storing a gun within its own inventory. It took some figuring out, like you can see here, where I'm dragging the mouse and I'm building like infinite chests due to a dumb bug on my end. And soon after, I was able to create my first enemy, which you can see here is a random windmill, because that was the first sprite I found, um, that's chasing me around. That they would eventually become the chickens that you have already seen. I could go on forever showing you clips of the game development process until now, but it would take forever. I literally have like 134 clips here to show you, and wouldn't be fun for anybody. So um, on the next devlog, we will leave memory lane. I'll start showing you how the game currently functions and what my plans are for the upcoming features. And if you like this, have any questions or comments, please leave a comment. If you like this, please subscribe. And I aim to have one of these videos up every week or so, if the cat here allows me. So I'll see you on the next one.